The Philippines is an archipelago nation in Southeast Asia, consisting of over 7,000 islands. Each island has its own unique charm and character, contributing to the country's rich cultural and natural diversity. It is known for its stunning beauty, attracting millions of tourists each year who come to experience its breathtaking landscapes and vibrant culture. The country boasts pristine beaches with crystal-clear waters, lush rainforests teeming with wildlife, and majestic mountains that offer spectacular views and challenging hikes. But this beauty exists alongside a stark reality. The Philippines is frequently battered by powerful typhoons, which can transform these serene landscapes into scenes of chaos and destruction. The nation is extremely vulnerable to natural disasters, particularly typhoons, which cause significant damage to homes, infrastructure, and livelihoods. The Philippines is located within the infamous Typhoon Belt, a region in the Pacific Ocean where typhoons are most frequent and intense. This means the country faces the relentless fury of typhoons year after year, with some of the most devastating storms in history making landfall here. These storms, with their powerful winds and torrential rains, leave behind a trail of devastation, uprooting trees, flooding streets, and destroying homes. The people of the Philippines demonstrate remarkable resilience in the face of such adversity. Communities come together to rebuild and support each other, showcasing the strength and solidarity of the Filipino spirit. The Philippines faces an average of 20 typhoons annually, each with the potential to cause significant damage and disruption. These are not mere storms. They are colossal forces of nature that can reshape the landscape and alter the course of lives in an instant. They are colossal forces of nature, forming over warm ocean waters and growing in strength as they move towards land. They bring with them destructive winds, torrential rainfall, and the potential for widespread flooding and landslides, which can devastate entire communities. These typhoons pose a significant threat to the country, causing loss of life, displacement of families, and extensive damage to property. They impact its people, its economy, and its very way of life. The economic toll of these storms is immense, affecting agriculture, infrastructure, and the overall development of the nation. The Philippines is located in a geographically vulnerable location, making it a prime target for these powerful storms. This makes the island susceptible to these powerful storms, which can strike with little warning and cause widespread devastation. Understanding the science behind typhoons is crucial. Meteorologists and scientists work tirelessly to predict and track these storms, providing vital information that can help save lives and minimize damage. We must also examine the factors that contribute to their formation, such as sea surface temperatures, atmospheric conditions, and wind patterns. This video aims to show the reasons behind the Philippines' vulnerability to typhoons, exploring the complex interplay of natural forces that give rise to these powerful storms. We will explore their impact and emphasize the resilience of the Filipino people who continue to rebuild and thrive despite the challenges posed by these natural disasters. The Philippines' geographical location plays a significant role in its susceptibility to typhoons. This archipelago nation of over 7,000 islands sits squarely within the Western Pacific Ocean's Typhoon Belt. This region is a breeding ground for some of the most powerful storms on Earth. The country's location, spanning from roughly 5 to 20 degrees north of the equator, places it in the path of these westward-moving storms. Warm ocean currents, essential for typhoon formation, flow freely through the archipelago. This creates ideal conditions for these monstrous storms to gather strength. The country's elongated shape further exacerbates the situation. The northernmost islands, particularly Luzon and Visayas, often bear the brunt of these storms. Their mountainous terrain, while picturesque, can worsen the impact of typhoons. The mountains funnel the winds into narrow valleys. This leads to more intense rainfall and increases the risk of landslides. The Philippines' geography is both a blessing and a curse. It provides the nation with its breathtaking landscapes, but it also places the islands directly in the path of some of the planet's most powerful storms. Typhoons, also known as hurricanes or cyclones in other parts of the world, are not random acts of nature. They are powerful and complex meteorological phenomena that arise from a unique combination of atmospheric conditions. These storms are born from a specific set of atmospheric conditions that must align perfectly. Meteorologists spend countless hours analyzing weather data to predict their formation and path. The birth of a typhoon begins with warm ocean water, heated to at least 80 degrees Fahrenheit or 26.5 degrees Celsius. This warm water acts as the fuel for the storm, providing the necessary energy for its development. As the ocean water heats up, it causes the warm, moist air above it to rise rapidly. This rising air creates an area of low pressure below, which is a critical component in the formation of a typhoon. As the warm air rises, it cools and condenses, forming towering thunderclouds. These clouds are the building blocks of the storm, growing larger and more powerful as the process continues. The Earth's rotation plays a crucial role in the development of a typhoon. As the air rises and the storm grows, the Coriolis effect causes the rising air to spin, creating a cyclonic pattern that is characteristic of these storms. This spinning motion is similar to how water swirls down a drain, but on a much larger and more powerful scale. As the warm air continues to fuel the storm, it gains strength. The storm's intensity increases as more warm, moist air is drawn into the system, feeding its growth. Wind speeds increase dramatically, and the central eye of the typhoon begins to form. This eye is a defining feature of the storm, marking its center. The eye of the typhoon is often eerily calm, a stark contrast to the surrounding chaos. It is surrounded by a wall of towering thunderstorms known as the eye wall, where the most intense winds and rainfall occur. The eye wall is the most dangerous part of the storm, with the highest wind speeds and heaviest rainfall. When a typhoon makes landfall, it can cause devastating storm surges, flooding, and wind damage. Warm ocean water continues to fuel the typhoon, while the Earth's rotation influences its path and intensity. These factors combine to create one of the most powerful natural forces on our planet. The destructive power of typhoons is a testament to the immense power of nature. Coastal areas are particularly vulnerable to their impacts, with entire communities often left in ruins. Understanding the science behind these storms is the first step in preparing for their devastating impacts. By studying their formation and behavior, we can improve our ability to predict and respond to these powerful natural events, ultimately saving lives and reducing damage. Breeding grounds, warm waters, and the birth of a typhoon. The Philippines, with its location in the warm tropical waters of the Western Pacific, provides the perfect breeding ground for these meteorological behemoths. The ocean acts as a massive heat sink, absorbing vast amounts of solar radiation. The sun's energy warms the surface layers of the ocean, creating an environment conducive to typhoon formation. As the warm, moist air above the ocean rises, it creates a void, an area of low atmospheric pressure. This low-pressure zone acts like a vacuum, drawing in more air from the surrounding areas. This continuous cycle of rising warm air and inflowing air fuels the developing storm. It contributes to its rotation and intensifies its power. The warmer the ocean water, the more potent the storm's fuel. As climate change continues to warm our planet, these ocean temperatures are rising. This raises concerns about even more frequent and intense typhoons in the future. A yearly onslaught, typhoon statistics in the Philippines. The Philippines faces a yearly onslaught of typhoons, a relentless cycle that has become a part of life for its residents. On average, 20 of these powerful storms traverse the country annually, bringing with them heavy rains, strong winds, and widespread flooding. This frequency makes the Philippines one of the most typhoon-prone nations globally, a distinction that comes with significant challenges and risks. While not all typhoons make landfall, those that do leave behind a trail of destruction, affecting millions of lives and causing extensive damage to infrastructure. Statistics paint a grim picture, highlighting the frequency and intensity of these storms over the years. Between 1970 and 2019, the Philippines experienced 274 typhoons, each bringing its own set of challenges and devastation. These storms have claimed thousands of lives, leaving behind a legacy of loss and resilience. Typhoon Haiyan, known locally as Yolanda, remains etched in the nation's memory as one of the most devastating storms in recorded history, a stark reminder of nature's fury. In November 2013, Haiyan ripped through the central Philippines with wind speeds exceeding 235 miles per hour, or 378 kilometers per hour, making it one of the strongest tropical cyclones ever recorded. It triggered massive storm surges that inundated coastal communities, causing unprecedented levels of flooding and destruction. The storm claimed over 6,300 lives in the Philippines alone, a tragic toll that underscores the deadly power of these natural disasters. It displaced millions and caused billions of dollars in damage, leaving a lasting impact on the nation's economy and infrastructure. As we've seen, The Philippines endures an incredible 20 typhoons every year, with 5 to 7 of them wreaking havoc across the nation. These destructive storms not only highlight the vulnerability of this tropical paradise, but also showcase the resilience of its people. With each typhoon season, the Philippines stands strong, adapting and preparing for the next challenge. But the question remains, how can we continue to support those living in the path of these powerful storms? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating insights on nature's extremes.